Hello there.
Oh, jeez.
Welcome to the Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network.
How come your work's cut out for you tonight?
It was so good I hear it twice.
I had to mute the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Pretty tough to mute when it doesn't exist yet.
Exactly. So I want to take time to thank Jake and Ryan over at Patriot Patch Company. And I want to thank them for awesome patches of the month that they continue to crank out. Here's the sticker from this month's. Oof. Forgot I don't have a webcam this time. It's really glary. So we'll have to grab the patch.
What is it? The Liberty Tree, watered by the blood of patriots and tyrants alike.
Yep. So.
Yeah, the Tree of Liberty.
That's July this year. So they've had a lot of, honestly, they've had really an awesome amount of every month, but my favorites the last couple of years have been honestly the July ones. So.
Well, I got to give Ryan a lot of credit for being creative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been pretty amazing about that. Mm-hmm. Just amazing what he and Jake keep cranking out. So, also want to take time to thank Sean and the gang over at Firearms Radio Network for giving us a place to hang out to every week. Just pretty awesome. What continues to happen over there? They keep adding new shows and everything. So make sure you keep checking out. That's firearmsradio.tv. So.
Sounds like we've gotten bigger than the old Gun Rights Radio Network ever got.
Yeah. But I think that's more just time and more just time involved than anything.
Management, too. There was nothing wrong with GRN, but a lot of times shows depend upon the upper management.
Yeah. So.
Of course, not this fiasco we put on.
Right.
We do it because we want to, whether anybody else likes it or not. Anywho. Welcome, Travis.
Hello.
How are you, Travis?
Surviving.
Yeah.
It's hot.
It was actually kind of cool today. So, muggy though. So, Travis, I was doing some more digging through that tote that I got.
First edition.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I didn't give you that one because I wouldn't have actually given you that one. I would have kept that one.
Right? And check this out. It's got a fold out in the back.
Oh, really? Is it for stuff to buy or what is it? An ad?
Yeah, it's kind of an ad, and then on the back it's stuff to buy.
Nice. And what year is that from? Because that's in excellent shape. Still has gloss to it and everything.
I can't find a year on it. So I'll have to go page by page and see.
Probably within the first 5 pages inside the front cover. If it's going to be there.
How to Make Your Own Bullets by Charles E. Lyman III.
Wow, that's a name I've not heard.
Sounds so regal, huh?
Yeah, it does.
Top experts in the field like H. Guy Loverin.
That name I've heard.
So they go through bullet history. Yeah, it doesn't really. I think where it did say it, yeah. So it says right here, you can kind of read copyright, and then it disappears. So I think that was where it was, and then it got chewed up by whatever. Because that's where the copyright is. So yes, unfortunately, I do not know from whence it came, but it is old. Let's see here. So here too are valuable contributions by such men as H. Guy Loverin, Gerald Teasdale, Elmer Keith, Ray Thompson, and Jim Harvey. So yeah, it's old.
I've heard the name Harvey too, and there aren't many of us bullet casters out there that haven't heard the name Keith.
Yeah. Speaking of Keith, there you go.
Hell, I was there. That was his book.
Yeah.
So did you guys already go over what you did in shooting or reloading or casting already?
We just gotten started.
Okay.
Wow, they even talk about 310 sizers in here.
Did you say 310 sizers?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's right. The True Line Junior. Along those lines. Okay. One of the earliest reloading presses that Lyman made.
Yep. Well, that's kind of cool. It goes through some history of bullets. So that's kind of cool. Back when Lyman made shot shell reloaders.
Yep.
So.
It looks awful familiar to me.
Ooh, we've got Alken powder, high score from DuPont, Winchester Western AA ball powder.
Alcan powder was a powder that looked a lot like a bow tie. It was a flake powder, but it's shaped like a bow tie.
Well, I think Alcan eventually got bought out by, oh, crikey.
Hercules?
Oh, there's been a whole bunch. I'm trying to remember what the current company is, though.
Alliant. Probably.
So this one is from 1969. The first shot shell handbook. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, well, that's kind of definitely cool. So talks about DuPont smokeless powders, Winchester powders, Alcan powders, Hercules powders. So Alliant bought out Hercules, but it looks like at this point in time, Alcan and Hercules are separate. Because Hercules is red dot, green dot, unique, and Herco. So, and it kind of shows a picture of a primer design. So that's kind of cool. There you go.
Yep.
So yeah, it's kind of cool. And then, so I've got hand loader magazines issue 1 through 7.
You're disgusting.
So, Thanks to the gentleman that gave it all to me. So
Yeah, really.
now I just got to find a place to nicely store them until my kid moves out and I get my reloading room. What the heck is going on? Whose phone keeps going off? Or Travis, are you listening to music again?
No, that is Jim. That is 100% Jim.
I don't know. That kind of sounds like some of the music you'd listen to.
I don't think so.
Nice, Shrenda.
What's up, guys?
What's going on? Hopefully you weren't sitting there long.
Yes.
Hey, loads of bacon. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, lady.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Another day in paradise. I was just showing off a couple of my books that I got in that tote. The
I
shot
saw
shell
them.
and the cast bullets. So
Bragger.
no, I'm just showing them off. I was bragging. I'd be like, nah, look what I got.
He doesn't tell what he does to us in the Reloading podcast chat.
Right.
Hey, Jim, is someone trying to get a hold of you?
That's my wife. She's outside watering the garden, and she has ignored her phone. She's left it with her, which means basically you're going to either enjoy this or I'm going to mute the camera and the microphone and take my phone to her phone to my wife.
Why don't you just shoot it? It's much quicker.
Oh, yeah. Only thing is I'd have to replace it.
Oh, damn.
Jim,
So-
just admit it. That is your ringtone.
Oh, yeah?
Let everybody know.
No, my ringtone. My ringtone. Hey, come get your cell phone.
Oh, good grief.
I just got told what she thinks.
Did she tell you you're number one?
No, she told me. I said her phone went off 4 times. She says, "Oh, really? I live here too. I got rights." Oh well. So we've been watching Sharenda abuse her garage space, abuse the bandwidth with all the pictures and stuff she's taken.
Mm-hmm.
Because the bandwidth works now.
Yay.
Good for you. Actually, to tell you the truth, that went in there with the noisy cell phone. She's actually gotten me responsible. She's responsible for getting me started on doing a little bit towards clearing out this garage. You got your phone with you this time, dear? Yes, you do. Thank you. Jeez. Anywho.
Yep. So, did we actually start saying what everybody's done? I don't think we did.
I'll go first since I didn't do a thing because it'll be short. I spent 3 days in the hospital, and it's like, well, I'm
So much
fine
for
now.
that being short.
Well, you got that no-shoot vitus, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Damn it. I hate that.
Hey, I'll be right back. Don't skip me.
Okay.
All right, lady, it's your turn. Since Mike wants to go last, and we need the time. So make sure you embellish it, elaborate it, and fabricate, and carry on.
Oh, I can do that. Let's see. Well, I'm finally getting around to cleaning out the hen's den so I can set up my stuff. What else have I done? I've started a post-COVID herb garden.
Nice.
I don't know why I waited until COVID was almost over, but who cares? I'm getting ready to go frog gigging. Am I saying that right?
Yeah. You ever done that before?
Heck no.
You're either going to love it or hate it.
Well, if it's not hot and humid up here, which I think is what it will be, I'll probably enjoy it, but we'll
It's
see.
misery in July. When isn't it hot and
All
humid?
right. Well, it'll be in August where it's even hotter up here.
Sweet.
Do you understand what gigging is?
Don't
Oh yeah,
explain
I
it to
googled
her.
it. I googled it, and then I asked, "Do I need to buy it?" And I was told, "No, we have some."
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we're gonna camp. It'll be my first time camping too. So I got a weekend coming up, a first of everything.
Bring lots of bug spray.
Yeah, I already got stocked up on that.
All right, good.
I also got an animal wildlife ID clinic that I'm getting ready to do.
Okay.
I'm a straight city girl. All this stuff is new to me. So since I'm going out in these woods, I need to be able to recognize a few more things.
Mm-hmm.
Got a bunch of meetings. We have a lot of women events coming up with my organizations, including one of them I'm excited about, which I won't be able to participate in because I'll be out of town. We're having a women's basic pistol class, and CZ is one of our sponsors.
Awesome.
So they're bringing out the CZ pistols. We'll have certified instructors there. So, and I won't be there. How
You
about
talk
that?
about high class 1911s. You're talking CZ.
Yeah.
Lady, you sure you can't reschedule whatever you got to be out of town for?
No, it's my nephew's first birthday, and it'll be my first time meeting him. So, yeah, it's sad. I can't miss that.
Nope.
What else? Oh, and I'm getting ready to take I'm going to take a refresher basic pistol class. You can never have too many of those. I got an instructor. I go and we combine basic and defensive pistol shooting. So I'm going to go do that now that stuff is open. Oh, and here's a fun part. I have a plate carrier, so I'm going to probably end up getting some plates here real soon. So be prepared to get lots of giggles in the next few months. That's it. That's all I got.
So, Travis, what type of pizza?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I've had a filled week. So since our last podcast, I've put out 2 videos on our channel. And then I am going to start kind of upgrading my 3-gun AR a little bit. So I know Chris Sharp's going to know what I've got here because he's got one too. I ordered this. Let's see. Yeah, the glare's kind of. So this is from Faxon.
Yep. They make good stuff. So what are you doing with your old BCG then?
Just keeping it.
Oh, okay.
So here's I'm gonna do a video on this too. So here's I have been shooting this.
Set you back?
$245 after shipping, I think.
Travis, is that where I see on the bottom of the BCG? Right there.
Yeah, because I have been shooting it.
Okay, all right. It looked like it came new in a package, and it's like, surely it's not worn.
No, not from Faxon.
I think Travis is OCD.
So this, maybe a little. So this one, I wanted their tin plated one.
Yeah.
Or their chameleon PVC one, but they're all out of stock.
Oh, isn't that just so sexy?
So I settled for this one, okay?
Isn't that chameleon just so sexy?
Yes. But, okay, Chris, we both have this one. It's lightweight. For those listening, this is a Faxon 5.56, 223, 300 blackout, et cetera, lightweight bolt carrier group. This is very nice, but you know how I am. So I got a call and these were available, and you tell me if you guys know who these guys are. Cryptic Coatings. And I'm going to say these guys probably make the best bolt carrier groups I have ever seen. So I have not put this in the rifle or nothing. I'm hoping you can just
Oh,
see
Oh
that's
my God.
just on the
pretty.
camera. Yeah.
That is sexy.
Shiny.
This is their
Ooh.
Mystic Black lightweight bolt carrier group.
Shiny, shiny.
This thing is slickery.
Wow.
So now you've got 3 BCGs for your rifle.
I've got a couple.
Couple rifles or couple? Never mind. Don't answer that, please.
Jim, I'm not so big on OPSEC as you are. I have several ARs, yes, and several bolt carrier groups.
Okay.
Sorry, my wife is draining water from the salon, and you guys can hear it in the background. Sorry, but this cryptic coating, when I took this out, I mean, this thing is beautiful. So this one here is a little bit more expensive. These ones are $315 for this one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if someone's wanting to go out and get something, definitely see if you can first get one of these from Cryptic.
Do you realize that is 2/3 of what I spent on my first build?
Yeah, my buddy's he's putting one together right now, and this here is half of what his complete rifle cost.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're looking for something, so I got this, and then I also went ahead and ordered the JP Silent Captured Buffer System. That'll be here on Wednesday. I've got a different VG6 Epsilon muzzle brake. I didn't like it, so I'm ordering another one from Coda Evolution. Not sure when that'll be here, but I'll probably do a video of us showing some upgrades I do to my rifle. The other thing that I did was me and a couple other guys went in on some Hornady 75 grain bolt tail hollow point projectiles.
Mm-hmm.
4,000 of them.
Not bad.
And these ones are with Canalure. I've normally shot them without Canalure. I don't know why, but these ones are not hitting where my other ones were before. So I had to kind of go out and do some more load development.
Seating depth the same?
Everything is exactly the same.
Or
so
are you now seating to the Canalure so you can crimp on the Canalure?
It's the seating depth and everything hasn't changed.
Okay.
So, I'm like, I was getting, I mean, there's a post I got on my Instagram. You can see when I first got that BSF barrel, how accurate that was. And now literally at 100 yards, I'm like I got it all put down in my app. It's like 2 inches, where before I was like 3/4 of an inch or better. It might've been half an inch.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not happy with that. So I actually tried out, this is where I'm going to get obsessed again. I tried out some of these. These are Hornady's 68 grain bolt tail hollow points.
Okay.
And now I did some ladder loads. Went out and tested all these out here. And these ones are actually shooting super nice. So now I'm like, do I need to find some of these 68 grainers now? It kind of never ends.
No, you just got to do load development for the other one.
I did. I've been playing around with those 75s. The best I could get was, I think, 1.25 inches. So I'm going to probably shoot all those up and then see about maybe switching to these 68 grain.
Hey, we have a question from the chat. Fat Elvis 1111 asked a question. Hey Travis, what is the advantage, if any, to a lightweight bolt carrier?
So you want to kind of do that. Hey, would you take me off of the main one and so I can see
Well,
all of your
if you're-
faces?
If you're done showing stuff,
I'm done showing stuff.
okay, there you go.
So you got to have a couple other parts, in my opinion, to make it worth anything. So you want an adjustable gas block. I have the superlative arms, and we'll start with that. The difference between a regular gas block and a superlative arms is a regular gas block has a set, let's just say, has a set screw that you can thread in and out to restrict how much gas gets blown back into your system and pushing on your bolt carrier. So the superlative arms, it also restricts it, has two modes. You can restrict it or you can bleed the gas off. So when you bleed the gas off versus restricting it, you're going to get a softer shooting rifle. So then next, let's say you have a standard or this lightweight bolt carrier group. You got more mass in a standard one. So you're moving that mass around. And then besides that, you also have your buffer system, depending on what weight you run in your buffer system. So what you're trying to do when you start switching over to this lightweight stuff is you're trying to transfer that mass around from the bolt carrier group and kind of move it into the back where your buffer system is, and trying to restrict your gas enough so it just cycles your load, and you're not getting any excess slamming or movement of your complete system. So like most guys, their standard AR is carbine length gas system, 16-inch barrel, carbine length. It's going to give it as much gas as possible. They're pretty, kick. Let's just call it kick, recoil, muzzle rise. You're going to have more of that than when you switch over to a rifle length gas system. So I have a rifle length gas system, lightweight bolt carrier group. I had a tungsten weight in the buffer system, but now I'm putting in a JP. And then probably one of the biggest things to reduce recoil is your muzzle brake. But it's all a system. You got to have them all working together. So yeah, Paul Nelson, he's always good at wording things better. You're trying to reduce the moving mass and the buffer system and speed up the action. That's what the lightweight one does. So you can, like I said, you kind of just moving the mass around, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't too.
Well said, Travis. It's exactly what I was going to say after your words, just to summarize.
After that long, boring speech I just gave.
No, it wasn't all that boring.
I say it's a system. If you just throw a lightweight one in, are you gaining anything? Not really. Nope. But if you add this lightweight one in there with an adjustable gas block, now you're on to something. Then if you add, you got to play around with it. That's when I put this lightweight one in, I actually have to tune my rifle for my load with this to cycle.
Mm-hmm.
If I switch to a different load, even my gun might not cycle. If I put a different heavyweight to standard bolt carrier group in, it won't cycle. So I'm actually tuning my rifle with all of these components together.
Yep. And one of the key components of that actually is the adjustable gas block.
Yeah, and
if you don't have that, nothing else matters.
Exactly. And if you guys are in the market for an adjustable gas block, they're a little bit more money, but check out Superlative Arms because, like I said, their gas block can restrict it like a standard gas block does, but they also can bleed off the excess gas, and that right there gives you a lot softer shooting rifle.
So what's some of the advantages of why would you want ARs, to be honest, don't really have much recoil to begin with.
Okay,
Why would you put more effort and money into making a softer shooting rifle?
well, one, isn't that just what we do anyway?
Right. But obviously there's
So,
reasons behind it,
yeah.
smart Alec.
So let's just say, so I have that BSF super nice barrel. It's really lightweight.
Mm-hmm.
So once I did that, I lost a couple of things. I lost some mass and weight in the front to help with the recoil. So right now, even with my rifle completely tuned up, I still get a little bit of muzzle rise. My
Mm-hmm.
son's rifle, that thing is flat shooting I mean, there's no movement whatsoever. Because I lost that mass in the front, now I'm trying to also compensate and go into this stuff, so I don't get that muzzle rise. So just an example, if I'm shooting somewhere and they got a bunch of paper targets over here, I could be shooting and my muzzle comes up and it takes me a little bit of time to come back and get back on sight. So I'm trying to get that flat as shooting as possible so I can, shoot the target, transition to the next one, shoot the target, and not have to wait for my muzzle climb to come back, get on paper. Same thing if I'm shooting out to distance. I could see my target, I fire, and then my muzzle rises, and then I have to come back, find the target again, settle back in, and fire. Where just it's all about trying to get as little muzzle climb as I can,
Mm-hmm.
and to get it also cycling as fast as I can reliably.
Just like all the stuff you do on a pistol to make it a race gun. So basically you're just making your AR a race gun because speed is the one thing that you can't gain back if you lose it. Time, I should say. Speed equals time, so that's one thing you can't gain back if you lose it is time in a competition. So everything if you can take a 1/10 of a second here and a 1/10 of a second there, that adds up. I think Travis froze.
No, I was reading comments.
Oh.
Paul Nelson, JP, he said, JP silent buffer spring system is adjustable. So right now what we do is you have your carbine, I don't have one right next to me, but you have your little weights. Those are familiar with ARs, know what I'm talking about. You got your little buffer system and a spring behind it. You got your carbine, and then you can go up like the H1, H2, H3, and that's just talking about how heavy they are.
Mm-hmm.
So generally, the heavier they are, kind of the softer they feel to you, but you're also having more mass moving back and forth. So in a carbine, you have all that weight and stuff. You're going to have that kind of slamming around, and you could be getting your muzzle doing this. So just easy to say, what I'm trying to do is eliminate all the weight that I can. So when that reciprocating mass is moving, it's more gentle. It's fast, but it's also gentle, and it just kind of keeps you on target better.
Yeah.
Well, the main thing is it needs to be said, I think it should be said, that you're not trying to reduce the recoil to protect your poor little shoulder. You're trying to reduce the recoil simply so the gun will perform better as a race gun.
Yeah. And those guys who are watching those videos I post, I appreciate it. And you might be thinking, why are you putting all this money when you're not that good? But it's all about enjoying yourself and trying to be the best that you can.
Correction, you're not that good yet.
Well, we'll leave it at that.
I'm just giving you a hard time. Actually, I'm enjoying watching the series.
Oh, good. I think we're on episode 8, maybe 9.
I think it's 9. I forgot the last 2 that I watched, what numbers it was.
Yeah, and there'll be another one this weekend. I'm going to another one.
Nice.
So, okay, 454 bore. Looking to buy some Starline brass. Good choice. For my AR-15, which is chambered in 223 Wild. Any pros and cons of buying their 556 brass versus the 223 brass?
Well, the reason for the advantages of the 223 brass is you're going to be able to get essentially a larger charge. Typically your 556 brass, and I don't know about Starline, I guess we'll have to ask this to them. Typically your 556 brass is going to be a smaller case capacity, and it's going to be therefore generating a higher chamber pressure. Whereas your 223 usually has a larger case capacity. So when you're running the same charge, you're not running as much of a pressure. So is that Diet Coke, Travis?
It's root beer.
Good job. Barks.
Yes.
Well done, sir. Well done. I applaud you. So I would probably recommend going with the 223. Plus, the advantage of going with the 223 versus the 556, somewhere down the road, you come up with another, AR or a rifle, a bolt action rifle, and it's only in 223 Remington. Your 556 brass is handicapping you in your ability, because you're going to have to download those to be able to shoot them in that 223 chamber. So that's my thought.
I remember I used to fire ball ammo out of my Thompson Center Contender, and in my reloads, I never could figure out why my reloads always seemed milder than the ball ammo. And that's because they were. The ball ammo is made to run about 60,000, 65,000 PSI, and the reloads, well, they were 55 or thereabouts. Okay, we're not frozen. We had a question earlier from someone that's over on Facebook, and he wanted to know if we answer general reloading questions. And the answer to that is we'll do the best we can.
So yeah, I was looking for that. I was searching for that question.
Yeah, you'll have to scroll back a tad. I put it in the private chat, Mike, if you want it.
Yeah, I was going to put it up on the screen.
Oh, excuse me.
Excuse me.
So what'd you do this week in guns reloading, Mike?
Loaded up some shot shell. Spent some time going through that tote.
That disgusting tote.
Yeah.
Mike got himself some seriously collector's items.
So.
Hey, welcome aboard, Troy. We haven't seen you in here for a while. And you're on Facebook, looks like. Troy Co-opton just came into the chat.
Nice. So the person that asked, in order to bring up the actual usernames from the Facebook comments, I had to pop over. So that's what took so long. So Patrick Sweeney is actually the gentleman that asked this question. He says, do you answer general reloading questions? His follow-up, I've gotten back into reloading after a 5-year lapse. The powder I used was 4759. I am IMR. Voice chatting. For all my curio rifles, which I have about 150, what would you recommend a substitution for the powder that is no longer being made? I think that one we're going to email off to Chris.
Yeah. My thought was my answer was going to be try consulting an older powder burn rate chart.
Yeah. We'll email Chris.
Oh yeah.
I'll email him after the show. I'm not really sure. I guess that's the one thing I haven't really gotten into is loading for older stuff yet. And
Well, that goes well in hand with the recent Milsurp broadcast we did.
yep. So
Well, Mike, when you get that new room set up, all this nice old stuff you have is going to be awesome decoration.
So, Paul Nelson said that he's been measuring case capacity for years, and 223.556 brass is all over the place. So, so there's kind of your theory. So, or that kind of takes the theory of 223 having more case capacity than 556. So. But oh, I don't want to. There we go. All right. So, okay. So, where to go? Too far. So this is going to be in the show notes. It's from the June 2020 issue of Handloader magazine. The article is by Chubb Eastman, and it's called "Bullet Damage. Does It Matter?" And just a caveat, I'm just going to cover this quick because the main idea is to include it in the show notes so you go look at it when you're listening to the podcast, because this is so much information, it's not really worth trying to delve into and cover here. It's something better to just kind of look at. Basically what it is they were having a discussion like we are wont to do. As Chubb says, one cold winter night in mid-January when the moon was full, a long discussion was held concerning the what would happen and have you heard scenarios. When the new plastic tip bullets hit the market a few years ago, most of the advertising touted increased accuracy, downrange performance, and a wind-defying flight to the target. The sales pitch with the new plastic tips centered around the idea that the noses of the bullets wouldn't get banged up and deformed while riding out the effects of recoil in the magazine when the rifle was fired. With banged up and deformed noses, the bullets would be inaccurate and wouldn't fly straight. That's what was suggested. But is that what really happens? This was the subject of the discussion on that cold winter night. The project was spawned to see what real effects the shape or misshape of the bullet nose does have and how it would affect performance in the field under normal hunting situations. Accuracy, ballistic coefficient, and velocity are all in question when something happens to the front of the bullet. So, they used a 30-06 with Nosler 180 grain partitions. It was shot out of a 70 or a Model 700 Remington. So, but I'm not going to tell you what all happens. But the next section is going through all of the stuff they did to make the test a true test. So how they did examples and stuff. So, Raggle Fraggle wants to know what the powder was. The powder was 47.59. So I was hoping that he was. So. I don't know. I'm trying to fight with my mouse. I have a touch screen. So. Sharonda, where's my coffee? Anyway. So, good grief.
What now?
Oh, I was looking for something, but my phone wasn't cooperating. So, So the official definition of ballistic coefficient is ratio of a bullet's sectional density to its coefficient of form, used to describe the bullet's effectiveness in oncoming air resistance during flight. I know we had debated that and talked about that for a while back, but now we have that right in front of us. So, but yeah, kind of just go through and talk about what they did and how they did it. So, all right. So, Brewer Bill wants to know, would any of you lead miners care to go into detail about your lead collecting at the range? Is there a polite way to go about doing it, that is, without making a mess of the place? And how deep do you need to dig? Our berms seem kind of chunky. I just gave it a cursory try with military trenching 2¼ inch prospecting sieve. I was under impressed. Then again, I'm a total noob. Read dumbass. It's kind of going to have to figure a couple of things. I've done it once or twice, not really been successful myself, but have talked to a couple of people that are successful. A couple of the things you're going to be looking for is distance from the berm to the shooting line and typical caliber shot. So if it's like a 25-yard range and it's mostly rimfire, then it's going to be a lot shallower digging than if it's a 25-yard range and most of the people are popping off 5.56, 2.23 or larger. So it's kind of a hit or miss thing. That's kind of the thing. I mean, it's going to depend. I know some people that have had to dig 3 and 4 feet deep to find it. The problem when you start digging that deep into a berm is you're adjusting the berm and you're weakening the structure, so it may not be as easy to do without damaging the berm beyond repair, and then you're going to have a whole bunch of people mad at you. So kind of it also depends on what the material is made out of. So
well, that's the thing I was going to say is one consideration every lead miner needs to remember is he needs to put back and repair the berm, whatever damage he did.
Craig Vaughn in the chat said 45 inches deep. That's about how far I was going. But I was also on a range where I know there is a just buttload of 22 shot. So, 4 and 5 inches deep is going to be a lot easier to. So,
yeah.
Raggle Fraggle pulled up a burn chart, and so he was saying H110, W296, same powder, IMR 4227, H4227, not the same powder, IMR SR 4795, accurate 5744, and where'd that go? There we go. Accurate 1680, Vactan SP3, and Winchester 680. So, are a few of the options.
To finish off the article we were doing on Brewer Bill's question, the one thing I would say is you want to use 1/4 inch hardware cloth with a wooden frame, Bill. No bottom, just use your screen and sift out the material. Anything that doesn't go through 1/4 inch is worth holding on to.
Yeah, and that's what he had. I said as he had a 1/4 inch prospecting sieve. So, which if you don't have, then your idea with the hardware cloth and the wood frame would be good. So. Craig said he has a boatload of projectiles on the surface of our pistol range. So pistol range, small bore range is going to be a lot easier, and that's definitely going to be deeper. If it's a 50 or 100 yard or 200 yard rifle range, 200 yard probably wouldn't be bad.
Yep.
50 and 100 where a lot of rifle shot, it's I don't want to say it's not worth your trouble, but more than likely you're going to probably have to dig too deep into the berm to where it's going to cause more problems than it's worth.
Well, Mike, this goes back. Do you remember Jason and I talking about our 5-gallon buckets filled with sand?
Yep.
Okay, well, the U.S. Army did tests with 50 caliber machine gun ammunition, and they did it all sorts of fancy, spiffy stuff. And what they really proved was that a 50 caliber projectile cannot penetrate 18 inches of sand.
Right. However, most berms aren't made out of sand.
I agreed. They're made out of a more dense material. So what I'm trying to say is, if you go 18 inches, it's too deep.
No, most of the shooting ranges around here are just regular dirt.
Right.
So
the material is more dense than sand. Well, yeah, if it's wet. If it's wet, it would be. Because the water is going to add to the viscosity of it. But I see your point. Yeah, ordinary dirt isn't quite as heavy as sand is, grain per grain. It's a finer material as well.
Yeah. So the other thing you can do is if you find some indoor ranges, ask them. Some of the indoor ranges are now selling that lead off.
Oh yeah.
And some of them don't. Excuse me. Sorry. And some of them don't really do anything with it. So you can check with them and say, "Hey, can I come in and clean your lead traps?" So.
Yep. Well, the thing is too, you just made me think. If I wanted to start recycling my lead, I'd have to get another 5-gallon bucket because I threw that old one away. Never bothered even cleaning the lead out of it. Had some 44 mags, had a lot of 40 in it, had some 357 in it. Clean white sand too.
That was dumb.
Well, I didn't want to haul it down from Pennsylvania, leaking sand all over my cargo trailer.
Here we go. What, Remy, you want to go outside? Figures. Got to interrupt the podcast. Oh, didn't make it, buddy. Come here. This is Remy.
Remy appears to be a camera ham.
Yeah, most of the dogs are. Is this actually going to give me anything? So.
Sharonda, if you're speaking to us, you need to remember to unmute your mic.
I was nagging. I didn't think the men wanted to hear the nagging.
Turn your mic back off, girl.
So yeah, sandy soil. It says sandy loamy sands, sands or loamy sands is going to be a lot denser than even clay. So yeah, that would make
Yeah, it makes sense. I just took it for granted that sand was the most dense there is. It's made from quartz, most of it, so it's hard, but it doesn't have to be dense.
Wow, there's some weird questions out there. So, oh my goodness. What's the conversation now? Does the pizza have pineapple on it? Comedy.
Do you want to go to question 2, Mike?
Good night, Troy. Yes, question 2. I'm going to ask it, and then I got to let the dogs out. So, Charlie Foxtrot posted in Reloading podcast group on MeWe, which is where the first question came to him too, by the way. He posted ballistic calculations, BC calculators, websites, tables, ranges, and drops, etc. Oi, my head's hurting again. That was when we were doing our ballistic conversation a few weeks back. So he just wanted to share that. So Tom Viviano posted in the Reloading Podcast group on Facebook. Okay, getting ready to put the finishing touches on my Hornady crimping and seating die and very confused for the overall length. Hornady manual and video says 110. My new Lyman book says 169. My factory ammo is running 145 to 155. What do I follow? So the first problem is we don't know what caliber.
I can answer that. That's easy.
I am going to say Lyman book.
No, I'm going to say make it fit your magazine. Leave about 15 to 20 thousandths clearance in front of the bullet nose. That's all.
So,
and also it has to feed into your handgun.
Yep. All right. So, next question, Vincent Old South Durheim, and posted in Reloading Podcast Facebook group. Will a Magnetospeed V3 work on an RPR 338 with a factory brake? Where's Travis when you need him? Hang on just a second. No barking, you clowns.
So, Sharonda, since it's up to you and I to carry the show for a minute, what are you doing in that hen's den you're bragging about?
So I got to put my hunting gear in there, combined with my reloading gear. And I don't know if I shared this a couple of weeks ago, but it's hot in that damn garage. So I did all that fussing and nagging about this is my garage. Nobody's stuff is going in it. No boys allowed. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm going to need part of the basement that I banned you to.
So why do you think I'm sitting in the house instead of out in the garage?
Yeah, so I'm going to have one corner in the basement on the days that it's hot with a reloading bench, and I can just carry stuff down there, and then nice days I'll be up. Plus, I'm going to get an extra bench to put in there for when I do get to start casting. Then I got to put some shelving in there because I'm starting to get a lot of stuff like I'm dedicating bags to specific seasons and hunting, so I don't have to keep changing stuff around. So I got waterfowl bag, clay bag, deer bag, turkey
place
bag.
For everything and everything in its place.
Exactly.
The question I got, the most serious question about it, is your basement filled with humidity?
No, I actually have a dehumidifier in there that runs 24/7.
Okay. Because you know why I'm asking. Your reloading dies will attract moisture and rust like nobody's business.
Yeah, no, it's actually pretty dry down there, and the floor is tiled. So it's not finished per se, but it's prepped to be finished. So it's pretty nice space.
Is it ceramic tile or vinyl tile?
Ceramic.
Okay. Much better.
Yeah, so it's coming along. It's slow. And actually, since I've gotten off my butt, it's coming along quicker.
Oh well, you did have something to occupy your time.
Yeah, and then I got a lot more brass. I don't have that much brass, but I have way more brass than I thought I had. So probably this weekend, I'm gonna wash all of it this weekend.
You're going to wash it. You're not going to tumble it.
Nah.
You don't have a tumbler?
I do, but I'll do that if I need them to look shiny. I don't need it to be pretty. I just need it to be clean.
Good deal. Anyway, the next question, Mike. That's right. We haven't answered question 4 yet. And that question was posted by Vince Durheim in Reloading Podcast Group Facebook. And Mike's digging up the answer. Will a Magnetospeed V3 work on an RPR 338 with a factory brake? I would bet you that the factory brake is going to be larger than the barrel diameter. That might be an issue. Mike's in the process of trying to find the correct answer.
Actually, I think the RPR, the factory brake, is not big enough to interfere.
Oh, good.
And you can get a pick rail adapter for it also.
That would be a Picatinny rail.
Yes. Hey, Russ, here's Gracie joining again. Hi, Gracie. I'm podcasting, Gracie. What can I... Nope. Hi, Gracie. Good girl. Go lick your mother. Crying out loud. So,
We've got an answer in the...
it should work just fine. You may have to get that pick rail adapter. You may have to play with your setting as far as distance goes a little bit, but it should be fine. So, because Magnetospeeds are actually supposed to work even with... Well, I think they're supposed to work. I think that you can use them even with like a suppressor. So...
Oh yeah.
So if you're using them with a can, then you should be able to use them with a muzzle brake. They're not. The only thing I would worry about would be if your muzzle brake vents down. Then, which would be stupid. Just saying, it would be absolutely stupid if your muzzle brake vents down. But in the event that it does, it could adjust your flex in your Magnetospeed. So, Jorgen said, my V3 Magnetospeed works on a Sacco TRG 22-inch 308 with a factory muzzle brake. So, yeah. All right. Colt Wood posted in the Reloading Podcast group on Facebook. Anybody use R26 in a 257 Weatherby? Looks like it's pretty close to H1000. Did not. I used 70. Shoot. I think 7228 SSC is what I was using in it when I was loading up for my friend. So. All right. Wow. We went through those really quick.
Yep.
One of the things I've been thinking about is doing a starting over. I think it's, especially with how much better we've gotten in our podcasting, I think it's important. Plus, with the fact that we're now live streaming to the Facebook group and other stuff.
Well, that would go hand in hand with what we've been debating privately about, doing a casting series.
Yep.
And, I've already thought of several additions to the document that I created that, we have yet to release. Ozark Spirit put up an interesting question. His question was, do you trust quick loads or the reloading manuals more? Quick loads would be the software that's used to create an initial load, letting you know how your rifle should perform. And the loading manuals, obviously, my answer is I would trust the reloading manuals because that's known information. It's
the problem with the only drawback to quick loads is a lot of it is theoretical. So,
well, the other thing is too, you have to understand, you've got to take and measure case capacity carefully, and I just today discovered this case, which looks like a 223 case. You got to pay attention to the details. I don't know if this is showing up, probably not, but it's not a 223 case. It's a 222 Magnum case. But no, you got to trust. You got to work with these people that make these bullets, make this brass, make the powder. Especially, you can ask Chris Hodgson. We've had him on the show several times now. You need to work with known data. We don't have the ability to test the powders and the bullets and so on and so forth that that's out there. We just don't have the ballistic labs behind us. We do, but indirectly in the Hornady manual, the Nosler manual, the Burger manual, the Sierra manual, all of them. The Spear manuals. Those people have thousands and thousands and thousands of man years involved in just testing their product, so that they get and then releasing some of that data back to us.
Yep. So for the previous question about the Magneto V3, according to Magnetospeed's website, yes, the Magnetospeed V3 was designed to work with larger barrels and suppressors up to 2 inches in diameter. The Sporter was designed to be used with rifles up to 1 inch in barrel diameter. If you require a custom lab setup for rail-mounted guns, please contact us for details on our custom services. So basically what they're saying is, yes, it'll definitely work with your muzzle brake, like I said, unless, of course, for some silly reason your muzzle brake blasts downwards, and you might have some issues. But what they're saying is, if the mount is not stable enough to do that, you can contact their custom shop and they will help you out. So that's swash that. And when I was looking at that, there is lots of warnings about possibly melting with your suppressor. Well, of course, you can cook bacon with a suppressor. Hello.
Yeah.
Logic dictates that if you're shooting it over your can, you're looking for data. You're not blowing rounds through it and heating up your suppressor. So, and Raggle Fraggle said, in the event that it does blast down, on talking about your muzzle brake, you can put the V3 on sideways. So,
if the muzzle brake blasts down, you need a new muzzle brake.
That too. But all right. Craig Vaughn wants to know, did anybody play with the 6 arc yet? I am not looking at getting that anytime in the future. I'm wondering if any listeners have, send us an email, reloadingpodcast@gmail.com, or stop on to one of the various Facebook or MeWe or Discord and let us know. So Ozark Spirit said that he's shooting the 6 arc this weekend at Camp Crowder. Come on down and shoot with us. So there you go. So they're talking about sorting 222 between and 223.
Yeah, I've done it.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, amen to that.
Looking to see if there was any questions that were asked that we missed. K24 wanted to know what the caliber was on the CNR, and there wasn't a single caliber given. Jorgen gives us a vote for a casting series. So let's see here.
Well, then I will continue work on that document. I'm going to need some collaboration because of the powder coat stuff. I know Travis, I don't think Travis is even listening, but I will be picking on Travis quite a bit if I'm going to do the writing in the article for the powder coat stuff. Because I know he does it, and I know he's very familiar with the process.
Yeah. Good grief, dogs.
Oh, Sharenda, tip I found out that works well in the garage. Get yourself one of those big air-moving fans, the big metal wire round fans, not an ordinary box fan.
I already did it.
Yeah,
I already did it. I'm gonna send you a picture of it.
good. Air mover. I have 2 of them in the garage. It helps in the hot summertime. And in the wintertime, it's going to be cold, I will tell you that. Just use a small personal heater, that's all.
I got a propane heater I take when I go deer hunting, so that'll work well in there.
Yeah, it may not give you enough BTUs, but you'll figure it out. Did you ever get that cordless drill that we were talking about? What, a year ago?
Yeah.
Okay. You might need more than one. You may actually need to. By the way, the Ryobi. Oh, good. Ryobi makes all those tools you were asking about: chop saw, table saw. Only thing is, once you buy them, you own them.
Yeah, well, no, I got one drill. I do need 2, but yeah, I've been pricing some of that stuff.
Well, I went with the Ryobi system because of the interchangeable batteries.
I didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
I just bought a Ryobi right angle grinder for $45 because I didn't buy any battery, didn't need it. I got 5 of them. Anyway, I'm not trying to hear this is not a Ryobi show, a tool show.
Mm-hmm. Holy crap, Travis is still alive.
Travis, I am going to inform you, I am going to be picking on you like a big dog. Seriously, and be picking your brain. If I'm going to write the article, you're going to feed me the knowledge about how to powder coat bullets.
Wait, hold on.
No.
No. You just flipped my world, Jim. I leave for 5 minutes, and now all of a sudden you're going to write an article and stuff on powder coating?
You're going to feed me the information. And don't forget, it's an article about bullet lubrication. So okay. My ALOX is going to come first.
Hopefully you're not writing it on paper.
No, stone tablet, you dog. So you guys have it. You heard it here first on live and in color on the Reloading Podcast on YouTube 309.
Let's also admit, Jim, that you did tell Sharinda that she should do powder. If she had to choose, she should choose powder coating.
Absolutely, I did. I'll stand behind that 100%. And I would give that to any new shooter. Seriously, I would give that advice to any new shooter that's going to cast these bullets. Go powder coat. It's a nice, clean, dry surface. There's no 2 ways about it. I like what I'm doing, but I will tell you this. You and I both know I can lubricate bullets and have them ready to reload a lot faster than you can. 1,000 bullets lubricated in 10 minutes time. Let them sit overnight and they're ready to go. You can't do 1,000 bullets in 10 minutes time.
We'd have to. What's that? How to when a guy's playing chess, they got that timer.
Yeah.
We'd have to do that because you just said you have to let it sit overnight. I don't have to let it sit overnight.
Oh, jeez.
So I could probably
do a challenge.
I don't think you can do 1,000 bullets. I don't think you can do 1,000 bullets in a night's time.
Really? when I occasionally easily do 3,000 in a night.
Oh, really? Well, then go powder coat. I'll admit defeat. I'm not too big I'm stubborn as anybody else. I'm not going to change my bullet lubrication system. But I will tell you, if you can do 3K in a night, go for it. By all means.
Especially now with that Lee APP press.
So Rago Frago wants to know, if you're loading for a new rifle, do you go for factory new brass or use current stock? Looking at getting some 300 Win Mag brass soon.
Buy 2 bags of new brass. 2 bags of 50. Buy one. It's sort of along the lines of buy once, cry once.
Oh, he meant. He said he meant once fired.
Get what
or
you
new
can
stock.
Jeez.
grab whatever you can.
Yep.
I see no huge advantage of buying new stuff versus using once fired. And I know a lot of people actually recommend just going ahead and buying some off-the-shelf ammo so you can at least get out and shoot and get used to your rifle, and then using that brass to reload.
Yeah.
All depends on what ammo you can get your hands on. I mean, if it's and what your personal process is for breaking in a rifle. So, but Nelson said once fired may not be from the same lot, so that's why it's important to go new brass.
Yep.
Oh, good point.
And Ozark Spirit said also 300 Win Mag is not a plinker, just order all the same brass.
Yep.
Exactly. That's the other thing, you know, if it's just going to be target fodder, then, you know, go ahead. But if it's something serious, especially like that, and especially something that powerful, where you're running that high of a pressure, you don't want brass failures.
Well, the other thing is too, like we always say, what's the ammo to be used for? If it's hunting ammo, he's got to focus on reliability.
Yep.
Accuracy needs to be there, but reliability needs to come before that.
So in the Facebook Reloading podcast group, Joshua and Nova posted, "Hey y'all, some of my dies rusted. I know how to remove with steel wool, but what's a good metal preservative?" There's a caveat to that. Depends on if you're using them or not. If you know it's a caliber you're not going to be using for a while, gun oil works well. But you're going to have to clean them before you use them. But it also depends, I suppose, on whether it's a carbide dye or a steel dye. Because I don't know what gun oil would do to a carbide dye.
Nothing.
So, Ozark said mineral oil will preserve well and it's easy to clean. Very true. Now they're debating on whether how you can get that many bullets done in a night, Travis. Obviously, they weren't paying attention when you were talking a few months back about getting a bigger oven.
That's the key. I don't run one little toaster oven. I have a full size.
Yeah, he has a full size oven, gang.
I made a stand for it and everything, and then it's got a shelf underneath. So I have a full size oven. I could probably put 6,000 in that oven if I wanted, and then I have a shelf underneath that has 2 toaster ovens that I can run smaller batches or some rifle stuff. And
how big is your oven? Your biggest one?
I don't know. This big? What is
30
that?
inch oven? Is
30?
it 30 inch? Is it
Probably.
a regular oven?
Yeah, probably 30.
Like you would find in a kitchen, like your kitchen. Walk upstairs.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but it's not an oven that has the stove top, so it's just I don't know, forget what you call it. It's just kind of like
Built-in oven.
Oh, yeah.
A built-in oven.
Yeah, that kind.
I didn't think about that.
So it's
when I moved in here, when I moved in here, there was one in there, and we took it out, put a new one in, and that one was sitting in the shop outside. So I didn't want to throw it away because I had plans for it.
So it's a 24-inch cavity in that oven.
Probably, yeah, that's probably correct.
Yeah. No wonder you can do so many at one time.
The crappy part is the resizing them. That's the one thing I can say Jim would have an advantage on, because he's purposely using a Lee tumble lube mold where he doesn't have to resize.
Yes.
I'm making my molds are purposely set up for powder coating, and I have to resize them.
I fire my bullets, even my 250 grain key semi-wad cutters, Travis, from the Lyman 429, 450, 421 mold, and even the 357 bullets. I fire them as cast, and they come out of the mold about 358, 359. And the 357 bullets, the 200 grain Seiko bullets, and the Keith bullets, they come out about 430, 431.
Yeah, and then the size of that APP press, that was a game changer.
Well, I wound up with my Lyman 450, my little Lyman lubricator sizer. I gave it away because I hated the thing so badly.
Travis did the same with his.
Yeah. But, it depends on what you want to do. Wow.
So Echo on the Bunny Man says he lives really close to the beach in Florida, and he submerges his dyes in WD-40 in a glass storage cookware with sealed airtight lids. It's super humid here, even year-round, with air conditioning. And for those of you who think that you're going to have to grab the WD-40 can and spray it into that, no. You can actually buy gallons of WD-40.
Yep.
So, and it is not in aerosol form, it is in liquid form.
Absolutely. The only thing is you have to dry your dyes out. And go in with a Q-tip and remove the liquid lubricant or the liquid treatment, because WD-40 is not considered a lubricant.
No, it's just a rust preventative, which is
That's
what
right.
he's using it for. So, for that matter, you could use motor oil.
Yeah.
Which would be a lot cheaper than the WD-40. So, I mean, it's just a matter of making sure you get some sort of rust preventative coating on there, and not WD-40. The only reason the WD-40 works, let's make this clear, is because it is a liquid and they are submerged in it. That's the only reason that the WD-40 works. Otherwise, WD-40 will not work as a long-term rust preventative. It's a short-term because it does dry out and it does fade away.
You want to highlight the next question by Danny Skaggs, Mike, because Travis is about to answer it. We don't want to lose it.
Yep, that one right there. So Danny says a few episodes back, I shared some shotgun loads for 3-gun. I loaded far too many that will not cycle my Benelli M2 with reduced power springs. Could you share your load just for reference? I don't ever remember sharing a load per se. We don't normally do that. So I don't know what you're referring to about me sharing a load, but I do have written down. I load on a Pontus Warren, so that uses bushings. So I said it and I forget it, so I don't have to keep checking on my powder loads and all that. But I have written down that the powder should be, I'm using 700X, and it should be 21.5 grains is what I should be putting into those Winchester AA holes. And I actually didn't change anything when I switched over to the crap. What's this? What's the gold one? I have to go grab it. The Remington STCS holes. One second.
I was going to ask you, what were you using for your shot charge in those cartridges?
Let me grab one real quick.
All right. Did you see a couple of the more comments? And Travis, did you?
Travis is answering that question. He's digging up some more information.
Okay. So I should, right now, I switched over to these Remington Nitro. This is what I'm loading. And I didn't actually switch any of my load, just the holes. So these here should still be 700X, 21.5 grains of powder, ounce and an eighth of shot. This is a factory one that I showed you guys one time where I cut it open so we could see on the inside. I'm loading CCI primers. and the wad I'm using is the AA 12 replacement wads. There's a whole bunch of different variations on this. This is the clay busters. That's what these green ones are. It's hard to get a picture of that, but that's the wad I'm using. But also, just like anything, your gun might like something different, but those have always, treated me well. Everybody else that's shot them never had any issues. Your Benelli's very, very close to my Stoger, so if Danny would put in the comments, just by chance, what powder and what grain of powder are you using? So anyway, while we wait for that.
Yep. Crikey.
And I'm not saying you're doing this, Danny, but also if you're not shoving that shotgun into your shoulder good enough, those are inertia-driven shotguns. They're more sensitive than a gas gun.
Boy, talk about somebody stirring up trouble. There you go, Travis.
Yeah, so he's quite a bit less on the grains than I am.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Even I could tell. That's a pretty mild charge.
He did have a good comment a few previous though, relating to the dye prevention. Birchwood Casey's Barricade is great for rust prevention. I use that on guns that I know I'm not going to shoot for a while. So,
well, Danny, if like I said, I'm running 21.5 grains. Check your manuals though to verify what I'm telling you. Don't just go off of what I'm saying.
that's right.
But I'm running 21.5. I am also running 7.5 shot, but I am doing ounce and an eighth. I also have written down that I have tried 19.5 grains of 700X.
And as always, please refer to the disclaimer Mike attaches to every one of these shows in the beginning or the end.
Yeah, the good thing is shotguns are a little bit more forgiving, but I would still highly recommend you check. Don't just go off of what we're telling you, but this is what I have written down in my manual that I am doing. Doesn't mean you should do it too.
So
Yeah, we very seldom pass out recipes.
no, that we don't.
See, right here in my, I just keep this in my little book. I got one of these little Lyman load data for shotgun. It's saying, well, he's doing 7/8 ounce, but it's showing 16.5 is what it's recommending for 700X with ounce and an eighth. Oh, nope, up to 18 grains.
Danny Skaggs also posted a comment that he needs to chrono these loads to work up properly, or work up accordingly.
See, so right here, I've got for 7/8 ounce, he's right in the velocity where it's going for 7/8 ounce low recoil loads, 16 grains for 700x. And that velocity should be around just under 1,200 foot per second. But I do know our shotguns they don't use like a Mossberg 930. They use gas. Where in your shotgun and my shotgun work off of inertia. So if you don't have that right in your shoulder good enough and your loads are low, that might not cycle. And it's been so long since I set up that Pontus War, and I couldn't tell you where I got that load from. I got it from some book somewhere, I'm sure. But it's what I've been using for years.
Wow, I can't find a 7/8 ounce.
Yeah, there's only a tiny section. But that Pontus Warren that I've got, I have it set up. I never do nothing with it other than run stuff through it. I did have a Mech 9000G. That one I did switch stuff around on quite often, but I actually sold that to one of our listeners one time.
So, yeah, and I was looking in the original, the first complete edition, and I can't find a load for 7/8 for 12 ounce or for 12 gauge.
I was gonna go grab a book, but I'm sure you're looking at the exact one that I would grab.
Well, yeah, except for the one that we would normally look at is about 45 years newer.
Oh, you're looking at the okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at the original. So back when men were men and didn't shoot 7/8 ounce. Kidding. I'm kidding. I know what the point of shooting a 7/8 ounce load is. It's faster. It's not as much recoil, and you can get back on target quick. So. And it's great if you're shooting trap all day long. Saves your shoulder. So, oh, Sharenda, by the way, the reason I didn't ship that out is because I can't get the primer feed to work like it's supposed to. I switched the primer feed over from one of the other presses that I had, but I can't get it to feed like it's supposed to, so I'm fighting with it because I'm not going to send it to you until it's ready to go.
Okay. I wasn't rushing. I know how to stalk you if I was.
Yeah, I know. If you were in a hurry for it, I'd hear about it.
So, Danny, is there a reason you're wanting low recoil loads? My suggestion would go up to at least an ounce of shot.
Well, Joseph Brandt just said Lyman 5th has 7/8 ounce loads for Federal and Winchester, but not Remington.
Yeah, I'm looking in the Lyman 5th right now. There's not a very much on the way of 7/8 ounce stuff in here.
Danny answered your question, I think. Mike 24 GM.
It's only for
That's got to be good grains. 24 grains, 7/8 ounce.
so.
Yeah, I know for me, I didn't shoot 7/8 ounce for very long. I tried it for a little bit, but I went up to ounce and then ounce and an eighth is what I'm at now.
Yeah. More pellets, better hit the target.
Yep.
Echo and the Bunny Man just said that that's the same problem Benelli hunting shotguns were having. If you were shooting birdshot, they would hardly cycle. You had to go in and change out a bunch of springs and stuff.
Well, Danny did say he did switch out his recoil springs and stuff, but
Yeah.
a lot of guys shoot that Benelli in 3-gun. Most guys are not reloading their shells like I am. They're just buying double A's right off the shelf, and that's pretty much what they're all shooting. Homer, the hole matters significantly, and we'd have to do that in a whole nother episode again.
Yeah, we will. So we'll actually do a couple. We'll do some. I'll get somebody on to talk about slugs too. So, but we'll do that as part of our reloading series. As we'll actually go through and do step by step on reloading shot shells. So. But yeah, hulls matter huge because there's a couple different constructions, so that makes a difference.
Yeah. Like just for an example, what I actually do is I've got some friends that have pump shotguns. So when I'm loading, if I don't get like a nice crimp on my holes, I take those and I throw them into another box.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually give that box of shells to my friend. And he has no problem just going out and shooting those through his pump gun. I said Danny's shotgun and my shotgun, they work off of inertia. So there's a couple factors that come into play. And if I'm shooting my shotgun and, I kind of come off my shoulder a little bit to go around the corner or something, you guys have seen in videos before. If you're watching This Week in 3-Gun, you'll see there's been a couple of times my shotgun hasn't actually cycled correctly, and that could be maybe I didn't have it up in my shoulder pocket. And with the pistol, it's called limp wristing.
Correct. That's what I was just going to say.
That could be a big factor, or you're just not having enough charge in your shot shells to get it to cycle correctly.
Yep. I agree, Sharenda.
What?
I agree.
No, my coffee's wearing out. I'm actually jotting out, Travis. I'm actually jotting notes down.
No, I'm not saying that Travis is boring. I'm saying I agree at being tired. So.
Well, what Travis isn't saying is the people that go out and buy Winchester AA, Travis is reloading his own shotgun ammunition up to Winchester AA standards, just like we've talked about in the podcast before, Mike.
Yep.
So why reload shot shell? Well, for number one, volume. You're not going to beat the Walmart price on the dirt cheap Federal red case ammo. But Travis is building ammunition much better than that. And he's doing it for the same price.
I'm glad you said that, Jim, because that's what everybody, when people compare, let's just say that, and Mike knows this better than most of anybody else, when they're talking about reloading shotgun shells, in their mind, they're thinking of the $20-something 100-pack stuff on the shelf at Walmart.
Right.
You got to take that out of the equation and add in some of the higher price stuff on the shelves and compare that to what we're reloading as a better cross comparison.
The AA's, the STS's, your federal gun or trap, whatever the federal top line is. I don't remember, but it's kind of thinking like rifle loading. You could go out and you could buy the Winchester White Box or Remington Core Lock, and if you're hand loading, you're talking at least Federal Fusion, and that's if you're half-assing it. I mean, that's the thing, is if you're just half-assing your reloading and you're not really putting a lot of effort into it to be precise, even your basic reloads are going to be, your better quality rifle ammo, your Federal Fusions, your Winchester, whatever their middle of the range is. So.
Yeah, I've talked to people at the range about this, and you can tell them all that, but they always end up going, well, I don't care. That the Winchester stuff or the the cheap Walmart stuff does just fine for me.
If you're trap shooting and you practice enough with that, sure, have fun.
Yeah.
If you're doing something a little more important like 3-gun, no.
Well, but
Besides-
for me, I don't know if you guys remember. So I have a lot of friends who are extra nice. So one day I got a picture of, I think it was just a single AA hole, and my friend said, "Do you reload these?" I said, I sure do. And he says, "Okay, I got some stuff for you. Will you want to come over after work and pick it up?" And I'm thinking my friend has just like, a little small bag of some holes. So I was going to humor him and just go over and be nice and take my little bag of holes. No, he had,
13.
I got, 12, no, 13. I got 15 of the big, gigantic totes back there. I think a couple of them have some wads and stuff in there. So it might be 13, 14 giant totes full of holes, once fired holes. I got that. I got tons of bags of shot. I got tons of primers. I think I got maybe 40,000 primers. We're guessing I've got maybe 80,000 holes.
Yep.
So for me, I'm reloading super cheap because most of my supplies were given to me.
Yep. So Joseph said that he reloads his turkey shells with TSS, beats $10 a shell. So I'd like to know where he's getting his TSS from, because that's
I
I've
was
looked into
just
it.
getting ready to ask that too.
I've looked into that, but I really haven't gotten serious about it yet.
Well, please elaborate for those of us that are unenlightened. What is TSS?
Tungsten.
Tungsten shot.
Basically, they finally found something that's not toxic that outperforms lead.
Outperforms lead?
Uh-huh. You're talking 30 yards with a 410.
Holy
Yes.
Jeez.
Yes.
I
They've
shot some
patterned
of
it.
that. It's pretty nice.
They've patterned it, and you're talking 30-yard shot with a 410 on a turkey.
And those darn things do not deform. That shot is so hard it doesn't deform.
Correct.
But the question is the price.
It's also
price.
30 and 40 and $50 a box. So, okay. That's where I was thinking he was getting it from, was from BPI. Ballistic Products Incorporated up in Minnesota. It's the only decent thing in Minnesota besides Hook'em. Well, maybe not. I don't know if Hook'em's decent or not.
I wouldn't go so far as to. We love you, Hook'em, you dog.
Yeah. Tungsten is
mistaken,
awesome, but it's expensive.
Doesn't Federal, won't they also custom shot with tungsten too? That one I was looking for my turkey shots earlier this year that they had something.
So I didn't go turkey hunting. So I didn't even really honestly look at any of the stuff that was out there. Other than I saw the actual TSS stuff, which I think the stuff that Cabela's was carrying was Federal and Browning. But they were straight TSS. So, Craig Gwan just said a 3-inch Magnum TSS will kill a Yoda out to 75 yards. So, yeah, there's lots of different options for the TSS graded by specific gravity. So, excuse me, it's not your standard shot shell size. It's not like you're going to go and look for 7.5 or 6s or 2s or double odd or whatever. With your TSS, it's different. So, yeah, tungsten doesn't deform and it flies really wicked because it's dense. That's the thing, is it doesn't deform. It flies. It patterns and flies similar to lead, but it's dense. So unlike when they went to steel, which was truly the first non-toxic they went to because it was easiest to come up with. The problem with steel is you have to move it a lot faster because it's not as dense. So right now he's using the number 9, tungsten number 9, which is 18 grams per cubic centimeter. So
Number 9 is also some extremely fine shot, isn't it?
but it doesn't correlate. A number 9 in TSS is not the same as a number 9 in lead shot. It's not the same size. So, and like Paul Nelson said, tungsten does need a buffer. Absolutely have to have a buffer on it.
Hey, because the material that you're shooting is harder than the inside of your barrel.
Well, what he's not talking about a buffer as in a wad. Every shot shell has a wad, and the wad is in between.
You mean shot cup?
Yeah, wad, shot cup, however you want to call it. What he's talking about is buffer is a material that mix in the shot cup with the shot.
Gotcha.
So kind of like a powder that's in there with it?
Yeah, they used to use
usually it's a powder.
Polyethylene or something like that, granules of it, almost like a dust, to help the shot stay in place during its passage up the barrel.
Yep.
And Mike, the old shot wads were actually cardboard felt cutouts. That's why I say the shot cup as opposed to the shot wad.
Yeah.
Because in the shot wad, the lead was actually riding against the walls of the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
You do that 1 or 2 times with your TSS material,
Junk.
you're going to junk that barrel.
Well, not only that, you're going to destroy your choke. If you're lucky and you have screw-in choke tubes, you're just going to blow the tube out, strip the threads. If you have a fixed choke, then it's going to get a lot worse.
It'll be, in other words, it'll be time for a new barrel.
Yeah. So that was one of the problems they had with steel. Is when they first started out with steel, they weren't buffering it either, and they were destroying barrels. Because basically what happened is, as it's sitting in there, it doesn't move as it's going down the barrel because it's frictioned against each other. The buffer allows it to move. And yeah, just like steel chokes and heavy shot chokes and everything else, they make TSS chokes specifically. So, but yeah, with how much I turkey hunt normally, that's something I've been looking into. So, and now that I have a bolt action 410, I may actually think about getting a 410 conversion kit for one of my mechs and having at it.
Bragger.
I'd love to find a load all in 410, but you can't. And you can't get the kits anymore either to convert that over. So, yeah, shot shells is another rabbit hole. So,
Mike, question: the Lee Loader Junior, does it come in shot shell?
The Lee Loader.
Yeah, the little Lee Loader box, the one, you know what?
Yes, yes, it does.
There you go.
I think I have a 12. Maybe not. Oh no, I didn't get that one. He wanted too much for it.
Well, I'm sure Lee Precision would sell you a new one.
So, Tom Peterson was just saying his brother-in-law is taking a turkey at 80 yards with 20 gauge. Seen his pattern, and it's like 16 inches at 75 yards. It's just crazy.
Holy jeez.
Oh, that TSS stays together really well.
In other words, you'd have to aim well at 80 yards. My God, I mean, that's right. That's almost that's 22 rimfire distance.
Yeah, you just put it's just like shooting a rifle.
Yep.
The only difference is instead of a single hole, you're looking for the center of your pattern. So that's gonna be a process. Like say when I patterned a shot shell for turkey, I patterned the first time I started getting serious about it and wanting to actually pattern and see how far out I could go. What I started at was 5 yards. and then 10 yards, and then 15 yards, then 20 yards, then 25 yards, then 30 yards, then 35 yards. And with the setup I was using, 35 yards was where I decided to stop. I actually went out to 40 and 50 just for kicks, but and could have, but 35 was my limit that I set. Joseph Brad said red dots are your friend on a turkey gun, or actually if you're probably at that distance, you probably even maybe want to think about a scope. But red dots are definitely effective out to 100 on a turkey as far as visualization. The only problem is your smallest red dot's 3 MOA. So that's going to basically cover the turkey's head.
Hey, and while I'm thinking of it, you just talk about red dots. Our friend over at Entirely Crimson has the best mount for Stogers and Brunellis for a red dot.
Oh, that's right.
So if people are needing a red dot on their shotguns, go over to entirelycrimson.com and look at his mounts. I'm telling you, they are the best ones out there.
Nelson said he patterns at 40 yards. I think with my current load, I actually went out to 50 for my current load, which is different than what I started out with. But when the boys were shooting trap, when they were shooting 20 gauge, they were shooting, their first gun was a Mossberg 510, which is 18.5-inch barrel and a 11.5-inch length of pull, because they were little guys at the time. And so they needed something smaller. What I did is I got out my handy dandy shot shell loader and got out my hulls and got out some wads and then got some other wads and spent some time creating a load and compared it to the 26-inch barreled 870 that I had at the time, and played around until I actually got their 18.5-inch barrels to pattern at trap shooting range distance like my 26-inch barrel did. So
that's a lot of work.
Yep. Changing powder. It wasn't necessarily changing powder itself, but it was changing powder weights. It was changing
Shot
not
weight?
not really shot weight per se. Not in that respect. I mean, it was just a little bit, maybe a little less shot, but not much. So, I mean, it's kind of all overall. Even some of it a little bit was changing the seating depth on the wad. So, but yeah, there's a lot of optics out there. There's a lot of red dots out there, and excuse me, the thing you got to be careful about is you get what you pay for. Those $60 and $80 red dots are kind of cool. Don't put them on a shotgun.
I would recommend you don't put them anywhere except in the trash.
22s, they work okay. But yeah, the first time I did that, I popped a slug off, and the next slug was 6 inches to the right at 25 yards. So yeah, that was junk. They do not, those cheaper red dots do not and will not handle the recoil. You just blow them up inside, essentially. So now what I use is I honestly switched back to actual shotgun optics, shotgun scopes instead of red dots. So, but I also use my shotgun for slug hunting. And so I'm going to be shooting, and I've got it set. So all I got to do between deer season and turkey season is get my scope dope book out, find out what my settings were for whatever I'm going to go hunting, adjust the windage and elevation, and off I go. So
Hey, Danny, switch over to open and put a red dot on everything.
Paul Nelson said he shoots a 34-inch barrel for trap. He's probably also shooting either a single or an over-under. I'm using a pump. So anyway, well, I think that about wraps it up for tonight, gang. You know, if you got questions, concerns, you want something else to specifically address when we're going through everything, shoot us an email, reloadingpodcast@gmail.com. Make a comment on the show notes at firearmsradio.tv/reloading-podcast. And some of your better, actually, no, never mind. And otherwise, you can leave us a text message, 608-467-0308. And thank you very much. Thank you to everybody that slides over to firearmsradio.tv, hits up the Amazon and the Brownells affiliate links. Excuse me. And also thank you to all of our Patreons that help support us and keep us going. So STLA Ammo or STL Ammo Man has said he's been finding some components. So yeah, you just gotta look. They're out there. It's just a matter of finding out where they are. Internet's going to be kind of tough to find out right now because everybody realized that their normal Cabela's, Bass Pro, Gander, Shields, etc., don't have squat. So now they're starting to, because they don't know of anything else, they're either hitting up Amazon or hitting up the Midway and Brownells and all the rest. So, but
Well, at least they know. At least they're looking.
right. So, and we've gotten some in from time to time. So, I mean, it's a matter of everybody getting caught back up.
Well, I guess my comment would go rather political, and I don't think that should be on this show.
Correct.
But we are definitely in the middle of a 10-year bubble.
Yep. So, yes, indeed. If you find secret stashes, you are not obliged to tell your friends, and you're definitely not obliged to tell everybody else. So just keep that in mind. You know, if you want to help out a friend, go ahead. But you find a secret stash.
Also, that may weigh.
If you find a secret stash, you're not obligated to tell anybody. So. All right, gang. On that note, I want to say thank you to everybody tuned in live. And just everybody, you know, be safe. Travis, I think you just need to wrap that spring in duct tape.
Danny, the answer is no.
What was the question?
If I'm shooting Pro-Am.
That's not my dog.
That's my dog.
That's sweet. He said he still can't get any 150 grain FMJ BTs for his 308. Yeah. Good luck trying to buy 55s right now, too. So, anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. And on that note, keep your brass shiny.
I'm going to get on this now so I can be on record. Ghislaine Maxwell did not kill herself.
Indeed.
Show a lady how to
Brenda?
reload. She will definitely enjoy it.
Support the Second Amendment. Back it up. Back it up.
Isn't that a song?
The censored
You want me to
version.
quote the Second Amendment to you, Travis?
No, he's talking about the back it up part.
Yeah. We are the backup for the Second Amendment.
All right, gang. Good night, all.
Night, Joe.
Good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Night.
Good night.